I'm definitely a little bit worried here for Damwon Kia because it's not as much of a standard draft this time around. This, however, absolutely is. And Teddy on a late game win condition, now that he's not up against a fellow scaling bot laner, I think you're feeling very good if you're a Kwangdong fan.
Yeah, Damwon Kia definitely tougher to execute, but I think they have it in them to do it.
Yep, we'll see whether Canyon gets spell shielded with the kick. Let's hop into game 2. Damwon fans definitely coming out in force today as Kwangdong Freaks look to hold on to this series. Damwon Kia move to a much higher likelihood of locking in that first place with a victory here. It's about 75% the chance with a 2-0, so just one game away from being able to attempt to avoid Liv Sandbox, who, I mean, there's an argument to say that they're the second strongest team here in the LCK, which is a crazy thing to think about.
It is definitely, it's not set in stone. It's not fact yet, but based on what we saw yesterday and their current form, it feels like there's a real world where we could see them actually make it all the way to the finals. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. Of course, that's all going to be happening next week when we get into playoffs.
Yep.
For now, we're trying to decide whether Kwangdong Freaks can keep their chances of Worlds qualifiers alive. And Damwon Kia are looking to prove that their form is strong right now, while, like you mentioned, avoiding that team. And I think that the style of drafting here from Kwangdong Freaks is very much comfort in this second game more than the first. Fate's on LeBlanc, right? Keen's put on the Gragas here. He's on blue side. He's going to say, yeah, you can have the counter pick, but there isn't a super strong counter pick for the Gragas. Snuggery considered the Aatrox is okay.
Whoa, okay. Keen is here. Kellen's going to flash immediately. And Damwon Kia lose out on a lot of priority towards this bottom side as Nuggery gets a whole free wave. So, not sure whether entirely worth.
I think the answer is probably not, because that's also a teleport down here for Keen. He's obviously going to have to expend that one. Took a little bit of damage as well. Nuggery's up a level. And what that gives you in this lane is nothing, really, in terms of what you're trying to accomplish. You're going to get level 2 first, and you will be able to push this wave in. But that's what your comp is, or what your duo is supposed to do naturally anyways. So grab a flash out of Kellen. Feels good if you have kill pressure in this lane, but you really, unfortunately, do not. So
yeah, not right now. Especially, I mean, if LM now paths down bot lane and they kill Kellen, I'll be like, oh my goodness, they've got such huge brains. It's amazing.
Yeah, if.
But that hasn't happened yet, and so now it's just Keen sort of giving up any semblance of lane control against Nuggery, who has a pretty good win rate on this Camille.
Yeah.
Of course, was from a time where Camille was a bit of a different champion, and Nuggery was a bit of a different player.
Okay, here's that level 3 gank from LM you were talking about here. Dokdom very low, actually took a big Mantrid Q, I think, probably before this he's super low.
Dokdom does get a ward in here, but we'll have to see whether he actually does manage to pick up the information as LM is going to present himself. And now, Dokdom with Cleanse and with Flash, can he survive? The answer is absolutely not. And LM is going to prove the theory. Maybe their brains are just massive, Wolf.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really difficult dive to stop, and Canyon didn't see it coming, doesn't come over here for the assist to try to defend here, and even with single target damage so high here, as Showmaker will grab the clone.
Yeah, wants that money.
That's the money, too. The Dokdom defense here is just not, I mean, it's not something you could do. He does a ton of damage, of course, to a single target, but it's just chomped by the Trundle. Level 3 gank, very strong here. Flashless Kellen. And now he is quite significantly behind in terms of the farm and in terms of the experience. So, we were criticizing Keen for this play early, but the plan, the big brain move, as you like to call it, does pay off here. And I think Canyon probably should have been a little bit wiser to this, considering how obvious of a follow-up it is for Trundle at level 3 when the wave was being pushed in that hard.
Yeah, I mean, Canyon does lose out in the 1v1, though, so it is difficult to sort of face the Trundle at this stage of the game. But the fact that LM actually goes for this, that's the main thing.
I mean, I don't think he's even considered, like, Canyon is, look at where he is mid. He's actually trying to threaten LeBlanc, which is where that clone goes down, which is why we had that snapback to the mid lane during this replay. He's just not actually trying to defend his bottom, laners. And usually Draven Renata is pretty self-sufficient, but not with a push that strong and with what I assume was a Mantra Q that hit Dokdom, which is why he was so low. We didn't really get a shot of exactly what happened there, but that's my expectation considering his health bar. If he's a little bit healthier there, they might just be able to defend.
Now, we need to talk about like how much this actually matters, right? Because if Dom1 are actually going to play a 1-3-1, as Dom goes in for not the greatest of trades, does have some whirling axes, and the base damage of that should mean that as you're throwing them around in this lane, you're going to be feeling all right. But they're going to go in onto Hoyt. Dom looks for a few more autos. Teddy's at full health, though, as these ricochets are looking very scary. And now Canyon's going to move on in, safeguard in range. Kwangdong Freaks just back away, and you can see it's 11 CS the advantage for Teddy. Still playing pretty far up, though, as I think Canyon snuck in.
Yeah, he's in that brush, and they don't know it for sure, but they have the idea he could be.
Yeah. Well, can Canyon actually get through? He manages to land the Q. It's a great spell shield there from Teddy on the Tempest, but still. Nice work there from Canyon. Safeguards get himself out as LM's rotating down, and Kwangdong Freaks know exactly where their bread's buttered. It's Teddy.
Yeah, and they're just going to play around the bottom side here, make sure there's no trade back. Now, going back to your question about whether or not, how much it really matters, let's say, as what you, I think, literally said, is it's tough to quantify the advantages that Kwangdong Freaks pick up here because, yes, it's a pretty massive lead for the Sivir in terms of control over this lane and control over the CS, but Nuguri got small advantages topside. Those have now kind of washed away here. He did not commit to teleport back to the lane. So does lose control for just a moment here. But I think it's quite substantial, in fact, because, yeah, I mean, across the map, things are overall looking pretty good for Dom1 Kia, but getting the Sivir a faster Kraken Slayer is massive, even if it's just an assist she picks up here. The Trundle being even more powerful in this early game now, too. Kwangdong Freaks are looking to control early Drakes once again, get that same sort of tempo that Dom1 Kia were looking for with their Sivir comp in the previous game, and things are definitely a little bit more smooth sailing now.
Well, Nuguri's going to have to rely on his passive shield there to try and even out this trade. As you can see, this 1v1 certainly looking like it's going in Keen's favor right now, as Tactical Sweep is going to attempt to get it back towards Nuguri, but without any mana, Keen's going to go home and is going to be able to teleport back. So no harm, no foul. He's been able to pull himself back towards about CS parity outside of just that one wave from the early game, so hasn't been denied too much here. Of course, Camille in the early game not going to quite be able to do that.
Canyon hits 6 here. They have no LeBlanc in mid. I think this is a pretty good opportunity for Dom1 Kia with his extra prio. All Showmaker has to do is clear a wave, and he could be down here so easily. Has his ultimate, of course, available. Will be first Drake going over to Dom1 Kia. This time it's a Mountain Drake to start us off, so it's like we're just picking up where we left off.
Ooh, is it going to be reverse order is the question?
Well, that would be sick. Let's find out.
Oh, it is!
Oh, so far.
So we need Ocean Drake.
Yeah.
To come through as our soul, which we don't really want, but that's fine, because it would mean reverse order has been confirmed, which is cool. As now off some backs, both Nuguri and Keen fighting one another.
The subjugate value for LM this game also not very high, with Nuguri picking this Camille up. So this Herald fight here not as strong for Kwangdong as it was in the previous game, where they had the Call of the Forge God, they had the Emperor's Divide, which didn't end up being used, of course, but they had the potential for a really strong fight. But Dom1 Kia, with all the resources committed bottom side there, they're not able to group up fast enough here. Teddy and Hoyt rotating over, like they're threatening the idea of rotating over if Dom1 Kia were to come over and contest, but they will not. And Elm's just going to pick up the extra gold himself.
Yeah, just going to take that one. So Rift Herald will go over to Kwangdong Freaks once again, looking very similar to the last game. Chain connects from Fate, very nicely done. As Kellen and Hoyt battling, as Kellen's going to flash for a handshake. Not sure about that one, as Hoyt gives him the thumbs up. They're just going to be partying.
Yeah, it's not really an ult advantage, so Hoyt is playing Karma, and Kellen is hoping he gets the handshake into the ult there, and Dom has so much burst damage and his ultimate that could kill him.
Well, there's the Mantra Distortion, as now Canyon looking for Fate here, connects the Q. But he does have the passive, so he should be all right. Orb Deception's fantastic. Oh my god, the kick! Just extraordinary from Canyon, but now he has to try and get away from the Karma, which he will do so very, very comfortably.
That was so well played by Showmaker and Canyon. That gave me some flashbacks of some old Dom1 Kia. That gave me some flashbacks of 2021 dominance there with just the baited setup from Showmaker. They do not know if Canyon is there. Trundle's somewhat nearby, so Fate, he's LeBlanc, he feels comfortable. This goes extremely low, and the follow-up kick there from Canny holds it to the last possible second just to secure the kill there. Knows, of course, trying to kick LeBlanc is not going to be an ideal situation, but then gets the nice follow-up there. Beautifully played.
Okay. If you can't kick the LeBlanc, just kick the Trundle into both of them.
He said he already says he got him before he even does. Then kick the trundle into him. Bam, that's a secured kill right there.
That's a smite for the kill. Love it.
Love to see it. That was so well played by Showmaker too to set it all up.
All right, well, Rift Herald is just going to come down in this mid lane to try and get Fate back into this matchup as, yep, not going to be able to deny it, but will be able to kill it. So Shelly not going to be able to take more than the minimum as far as those 2 plates are concerned. Canyon really wanted to get hit by that one as hostile takeover comes through. Q lands onto Elm. He is likely going to die as he burns down to the Ignite. Whirling Death, unable to actually lock down the kill there for Dom. He wanted to have a cheeky cash-in, but it's not going to happen. Damwon, though, able to win out in the skirmish.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Kwangdong Freaks here, they aren't able to trade anything back around the map for this. Dom is controlling the bottom side pretty well here. Still significantly behind in CS from what happened earlier on in this game. Nuguri.
Yeah. Trying to get some damage onto Kane here, who is starting to build up that tankiness. They haven't been back to base since the skirmishes had begun. And as you can see, I mean, the CS has not changed 1 iota.
Yeah, not really. Dom really does need a cash in here to keep up with Teddy in this game. And, you know, if his ultimate had actually given that to him just moments ago, would have been massive. Unfortunately, just barely off. Doesn't even pick up an assist, unfortunately. So now he had that push down, but as Renata is returning to lane, Killen's so far away, he just has to sit under turret. Felt pretty comfortable, obviously, with a dead Trundle for a moment there, but we're going back to square one here, which is not, unfortunately, looking very good for Dom so far here in this early game.
Yeah, I do really like how Damwon are playing this, though, because playing weak side Draven is not necessarily what you expect, right? But they're just like, well, maybe if we win the rest of the map, he can get a cash-in sometime later, and then everything will be fine. He died very, very early, and so those adoration stacks are starting to come back up again. Yeah, and it could be an opportunity.
Those types of champions that can just sit down here and then win later are very rare in this meta, you know, where you've seen it sometimes, obviously, with the Jhin, where it's like, okay, you're not going to have a fun time in the laning phase, but later on, you're going to be huge utility for our team, can actually get some extra pickoffs and then become a huge threat. Draven usually is a threat in the lane, but he's playing against Karma Sivir, so he's just going to have to sit back. And with that play from Keen that ended up leading to that early kill, he falls so far behind that that's going to be the name of the game. But like you say, if they win everywhere else, he will just be able to say, well, all I have to do is last hit a champion, and then all those last hit minions I'm behind, we can forget about those.
Yeah, should be able to get himself back in amongst it, as Fate is just going to take the very end of the Orb of Deception. Maximum damage there from Showmaker, as this Infernal Drake up in 4 seconds time. Fate getting over there, but does get hit by the Charm. Orb of Deception coming down here is now Kellen without his flash available from earlier. He's going to hostile takeover, though. And that will allow him to disengage. Now they won't have it for this Drake fight, as Elam also doesn't have Subjugate. But as you mentioned, not exactly the highest value here, as Nuguri looking to move his way in. Teddy could just get ultimatumed as Keen throws the barrel, but it only hits Canyon and Kellen, and not really too much more happens. Great little handshake there. Showmaker doesn't find the charm. Dom with a fair bit of space to work with here, as that's a beautiful kickback in the backline. Canyon going to help facilitate the cash in here for Dom, as Showmaker is once again pushing forward. The flash charm will connect this time. The handshake lands as well, and Kwangdong Freaks have to go back to their base. Dom's not done yet, and Nuguri just dives the turret. He'll flash himself away, and now I think Damwon will head back towards the Drake. No, they'll just let Canyon do it.
Canyon can take it by himself. It'll take a long time, but they have so much control, it doesn't matter. Nuguri's just locking him down.
Oh, man, he's just dancing in amongst this one, really wanting to take more, but I don't know whether it's a great idea, and the Sivir will pick it up. Cloud Soul is going to come through here, and yeah, that's some vintage Nuguri right there, as Teddy gets snagged by a Sonic Wave, but Canyon will hold back.
The Sonic Wave he got in the sweepstakes is a one free trip. He decides he's not going to take it. He's got enough going on the map right now to then take the one-way trip to the Death Chambers. This fight is really so well played here from Damwon Kia. It's just like the last time where they had the same neutral fight. They used the Drake against Kwangdong Freaks. Play it patiently, play it slow. The kick from Canyon is amazing. Sets up for this ultimate here from Dom. But also Showmaker does so much more damage in this fight than Fate does on a LeBlanc, right? LeBlanc the first to die, of course, in this, but LeBlanc is essentially, as Fate here, trying to front to back the early part of this, and you're just never going to win out as the LeBlanc in that case. They don't have enough vision to threaten any backline picks with this LeBlanc so far, so it's just not working here compositionally.
Well, we've got another fight, as Canyon is going to find Kane, and he's already used his cast, guys. It's a very dead Gragas. Canyon locks that one down, and Canyon and Showmaker show he's back on. Wolf.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I can't believe it's a new season. I've just waited so long for it, man.
It's a huge reboot here. And
yeah.
It couldn't have come at a better time, right at the end of the season. Right when I was starting to get worried for this team, thought maybe, you know, it was going to be a tough first round.
I was starting to think
playoffs.
the cast was getting too old to be able to make it work, you know? Like, oh, it's amazing that the fact that they've actually rebooted it.
I love the reunion episodes, you know?
Yeah. Reminds me of Stargate. Anyway, Quandong Freaks looking for a dive onto Nuggery. Yeah, exactly. So he's going to try and get himself out of this one, but he's just going to die. This is the classic Nuggery situation where he is alone in a side lane, and he just hopes that Damwon will be able to get more back.
And they will, because they should be able to get 2 outer turrets here, mid turret and the top turret that Ari is taking. So Showmaker getting left alone here. They have the second Rift Herald as well, and just kind of tossed down here as an afterthought. Like, okay, we couldn't quite do it with this wave, so we'll toss the Rift Herald, and wanted to save it. Yeah. This ult actually almost saves the bottom turret here against Fate, and it's 2 turrets for 1 here, way trading up, and actually he'll get an additional charge from this Herald with that extra health it picked up, just a little bit tougher to take down, a little bit meatier, and Quandong Freaks losing out on the cross map.
Doctom as well, being there for Canyon, so he can safeguard his way out. Really like to see the added coordination between Damwon Kia. Every little bit counts, in my opinion. As, yeah, we're going to have a look at this 2v1. Canyon just uses his Q to close the gap.
It was honestly the best cast Keen could have ever asked for. Maximum value, just doesn't matter. Yeah. He's ever frosted, he's charmed. That's the end of that.
Both top laners just dying. Quandong Freaks investing more.
Nuggery's ultimate is, you know, maybe 10 seconds away at this point as well. Really frustrating for him. If he has Hextech Ultimatum, maybe he could force a trade back there and buy a little bit of extra time. But they knew the timing. They punish him. He's got it up now, but still 2 turrets for the 1. Definitely feeling much better about this as Damwon Kia, especially with that extra charge on the inner. And straight up 5v5ing here is still going to look very nice for Damwon Kia if we continue to see the setups for Quandong just really not come together, because their comp is so punishable by perfect play from Damwon. We talked about how this draft is harder to execute, but they are hitting the mark every single time. Canyon, especially on this Lee Sin, he has had just such a return to form tonight.
Yeah, it's feeling like a renaissance here for Canyon, as Keen having to deal with Nuggery in a very long lane, as Tactical Sweep's going to slow him down. There's the flash out, as Keen has to give a lot of respect over here, but now he won't have that flash available. Nuggery is not going to waste any time, puts down that control ward. But meanwhile, there is another fight here towards the bottom side. Canyon, realizing that that is not the real LeBlanc, is not going to go for it, as didn't even have kick available, as he now safeguards to get himself out of this one now. Showmaker not in position. Hostile takeover, a little hasty there from Kellen.
Keen will escape, meanwhile, of course, on the top side of the map. Damwon Kia looking for this turret here with the group up, but will be denied. Drake not up for 45 here, so the idea here is to lead to a kill, then set up for the turret, then have the faster group up after the turret goes down on this soul point for the Cloud Drake.
Yeah, I think Nuggery wanting to hold on to the ultimate as well, because I think Keen, if Keen ults Nuggery out of his ult, then he's going to win that little exchange, so it might have been more of that waiting game, but Keen, I don't believe, had the cask available.
Nuggery didn't have flash. I think Keen just barely gets out of range there of being ultable, and Keen didn't have the cask like you mentioned. Nuggery's flash coming back up now, does have teleport, and Damwon Kia, this is a really critical Drake fight for them. Fate's teleporting down to the bottom side here, but again, in the front to back, Ari much stronger here, and is ahead right now, arguably, in items as well, picking up that crystal for the Void Staff. Quandong Freaks going to start this one up first. Damwon Kia, I think, absolutely will contest.
Yep, they're looking to try and rotate down. Showmaker with that Void Staff now completed. Like you were talking about, he's going to teleport in. They're on the flank angle, and this Drake is taking a long time to go down. Charm connects onto the Gragas as Canyon dives into the back of the pit, and now the fight is on. It's a surround here from Damwon Kia, but the Whirling Death doesn't really find too much value in Nuggery. Immediately is going to go down. The cask is good, gets the flash out of Doctom, but they're not able to actually kill him. Fate diving forward, doesn't get the chain onto this Draven. And now, Quandong Freaks were also able to steal away the Dragon of all things. Didn't even really notice that one happening as Canyon gonna have that kick denied. Oh my goodness, he lasts a very long time. He's gonna get bailed out as well as Keen goes down, but Teddy is still alive. He's the main one here, is now Kellen. Gonna take a lot of damage from Fate, but Showmaker's now looking for it. The charm goes wide. He's still got a Q available. Presses the W for the movement speed, but doesn't quite get there. And so Damwon Kia, I think, almost win the fight?
Yeah, they win the fight, technically speaking here, but they do not get the Drake, which is very incredible when you consider how it all went down, and I'm sure we're going to be going into replay of it right now, is despite the setup here for Damwon Kia to steal the Drake away, Canyon comes over here, kicks the Trundle, still actually taken.
Yeah.
As he just casually walks over and smites it afterwards. And then this choke point is really hard for Damwon Kia to go into. Duckdom has to flash, of course, and they're just trying to use Orb of Deception to win this fight. And then Quantum Freaks realize, like, okay, we're running out of abilities here. We're very low on health. We've taken so much damage. And Canyon has to flash this pillar. Almost knocks them back with the Blast Plant. I think if he does, this could have been even more devastating for Quantum Freaks. But at the end of the day, it's a trade up in gold for Damwon Kia, but they do lose control of that Drake tempo.
Yeah, the battle Lee Sin actually working out towards the end there. I was actually a little bit worried for Canyon's gung-ho attitude, but being able to take the extra kill certainly did work out.
Damwon Kia have just shown such great team fighting in this series. It feels like I have gone back in time, and I'm like, we should be, you know, really looking forward to some more Damwon Kia team fighting. And Canyon Showmaker, have you guys heard about these two players? They're working so well together, and it's despite, you know, a little bit of shakiness from Nuguri throughout the rest of this season, he's looked pretty good overall in this best of 3 as well. And, you know, it does feel vintage here. We'll see if it's going to be enough to stick the landing, as Guangdong Freaks do not have control over the map here, but buying so much time with that Drake take, because LeBlanc has been significantly behind this game. Showmaker has made a much larger impact, but Fate, once he gets his second item online, will be able to threaten the backline a little bit better. There are still some angles here where Teddy can actually, in the Supreme late game, if they can get there, do a lot of damage with Ricochet. There's a lot of engage opportunities. But, I mean, right now, I just trusted Damwon Kia's 5v5 after what we've seen in those 2 critical team fights.
Yeah.
We saw last game, too.
No, you're exactly right. I think that Damwon are certainly looking better. However, I don't know whether they're looking good enough, right, for us to be like, oh, yes, this team is amazing. And also, we have to remember...
It's Guangdong Freaks.
It's Guangdong Freaks, yeah. Who haven't necessarily been the greatest. But watching Nuguri play Camille certainly makes us pleased, right? As far as the idea of what Damwon Kia are doing here, also Canyon having so much better of a series than we've seen in like any other time
honestly,
this season,
yeah.
right? I was like thinking, I'm like, since last year, you know, like Keen gonna have to flash to get out of the way of Showmaker, who did invest the ult, and there's the cast to throw him back. He's underneath the turret now, which is not exactly what he wants, but Everfrost is going to be put down.
And he's coming over.
Yeah, he's rotating. He's got on the hunt. Nuguri is extraordinarily low, and he will just get ricocheted to death. And now Showmaker, this is not the alcove gaming that he wanted, and Teddy's going to pick up an extra one. Just a huge whoopsie.
Yeah, suddenly a huge whoopsie turns into a big spike for Teddy. He's going to pick up so much money here. Now has 4 kills under his belt, and big whoopsie, really well played by Keen. Casamin buys so much time, and the 2 side laners are down for Damwon Kia, so there's no cross-map available. There's no side lane control here. Guangdong Freaks looking for a top turret here and control over Baron. Look at all the wards they have around the Baron pit as well. There's not a single place they don't know about, and they're going to push this wave through. Respawn coming through from Showmaker and Nuguri. They both have teleports, so Guangdong Freaks know this and won't be able to realistically start Baron. But this is a Sivir getting closer and closer to that late game. Still 40 CS up on Duckdom, despite the cash-in. He's only gotten 1. He's looking for another later on. Despite the cash-in, he's significantly behind in items here, and he's not going to be able to compete. As this is Keen. Nuguri's so low. Cask is perfectly played. Body slams him under turret.
Man,
and he's just calling out no flash.
Better.
Yeah, calling out no flash. And he knows he's rotating down.
Also had the sweeper there available so that Teddy knew exactly what Nuguri was trying to do. Beautifully done.
See if he says anything else. Nope. Definitely going to be mostly the comms, I think, from Teddy at that moment as he's locking him down, making sure he gets those kills, calling out for it. Close to his IE now.
Yeah, Fate dives on top of Canyon here. Half health just for that one rotation. Nuguri's going to get slowed down.
Didn't get the maul. But still, the Void Staff showing its value here. We talked about how it's going to get easier for Fate to actually find value this game the more items he picks up.
Yeah, Showmaker looking for his way in, gets a control ward into the river. As these barrels, very useful, doing all that zoning, as now Duckdom is by himself. He does have a turret and a flash and has to use the flash to get under said turret. And now Damwon Kia on this Drake now. Canyon caught on the flank, but the Mimic Chain is going to connect. There's the kickback. He has to use it very defensively, as Canyon doesn't have Smite, so he can't lock down this Drake, as Damwon are trying to start the fight on the opposite side of this one. They do manage to lock down the Lee Sin, but the Gragas is also taken on the other side. Hostile takeover 100% avoided here by Kwangdong Freaks, as Nogari's going to secure the dragon. So at least Damwon Kia gets Soul Point. It was an unorthodox way of doing it. However, they do manage to get there in the end.
I think that might have been the most Kwangdong Freaks thing I've ever seen, is just chasing down and flashing over the wall to chase one of the most mobile junglers in the game we call League of Legends. As the chains connect over the wall barely, so that calls point for, okay, I'm going to flash over the wall, look for my own chains to connect and grab him, and they do kill the Lee Sin, but at the cost of Soul Point here for Damwon Kia in a team fight that was definitely winnable for them. Duckdom was pushed away. Got to focus on the real priorities, Kwangdong, as Nogari will get out here.
Yeah, not going to be able to find the chain, and Hookshot just pretty strong.
Damwon Kia are like, man, they're really chasing Canyon. I guess we just win the fight on Drake.
Yeah.
As look at how many resources are committed. Teddy is here. He's not doing anything. He's literally doing nothing. And this is a secure of the jungler, but you can't actually win the fight, basically 2v4 on the other side, and that's what's going on over here, as Keen is trying his best to set up for a big body slam angle, but he's just instantly caught and deleted. Nothing LM can do to save him, and that's an easy Drake lockdown, as the rest of Kwangdong Freaks don't have the tools to collapse back in anymore.
Meanwhile, there is another fight. Duckdom is going to be put on a leash. He's looking for the bailout opportunity. That's why he was chasing after Hoyt, but he's just going to die. That is the 6th kill going over to the Sivir, and Damwon Kia are very quickly losing control of this game.
Yeah, this is looking rough.
Yeah, Q going to connect there from Canyon, but immediately Fate just pops himself back.
No flash, but of course he's Lee Sin.
Yeah, Fate now, oh man, he is in such a good position at this point in the game, as Canyon's just going to get thrown back. This is the jungler, by the way, guys, and he is going to be taken out. This Baron should all but be Kwangdong Freaks.
Really good secure here from Kwangdong over the wall, making sure that Canyon cannot be there, taking him out first. Nogari's going to try to trade this for a turret, but I think you're very happy about this, as Kwangdong Freaks is going to be so much map control. And stopping that Soul Point ends up being, or wanting to stop that Soul Point doesn't end up mattering as much, because Damwon Kia lose their AD carry again. Duckdom was forced out last time, didn't die before that Drake fight, but this time he is picked. And Damwon Kia, they don't have Soul, it's only Soul Point. And they're going to take some bottom side control here, but at the end of the day, this Sivir is super online. Like, she's going into a GA now, and in these longer fights, you're going to have so much more powers. Let's see how this pick happens. It's really just a great play from Keen. Comes over here on the edge. Duckdom is unfortunately trapped.
Yeah, no handshake available. At least he does get a bailout, but otherwise he's just dead, and it's just a great pick. Like you were talking about, this is a fantastic game from Keen.
And this is just them saying, all right, Canyon, I know you're lurking around. I know you're flashless, but we're going to make sure we kill you before we kill the Baron, because crazier things have happened.
The denial of safeguard there the entire time from Keen. First the cast, then the body slam. Oh, man, really beautifully done.
Yeah, Keen, he's 0-4-5, but he's made a huge impact in terms of the zoning this game, as well as some very great defensive casts that set up to get Teddy ahead bottom side as well, catching those soul laners. Kwangdong Freaks, 2,000 gold ahead, but the aspects of this composition and how easy it is to execute, how we've talked about how their comp is, it just kind of plays itself. It's working out for them, and so much CC.
Yeah, and now they're pushing for this inhibitor turret towards the bottom side of the map. Showmaker is splitting on that top side. Canyon's taking his chickens, and looks like Damwon Kia are just going to give this one up. Kwangdong just going to move on over as well. Keen can feel pretty happy about tanking this for as long as he likes, as Damwon are now moving away from their Nexus turrets that are likely just going to get taken down. This is a very weird decision to make, and they lose a Nexus turret. Handshake does come through. Nogari looking for Fate, and he will go golden. Keen diving on forward. The cast is going to connect as Nogari looks to lock him down, and he does manage to do so. Canyon now diving forward. Can they get any of these kills? They need to kill Teddy. He's still very, very high health. However, he can't actually free hit in this battle, and Damwon Kia have taken way more from Kwangdong Freaks this time around.
Yeah, Pillar goes up here just to help them get out, but it's only going to be the inhibitor that goes down, no second one. And Damwon, it looked really risky there for a second to watch how they handled the Nexus turrets going down, but they wanted to win a fight straight up. And so Nogari's here on the flank angle. If they pick off Fate, which they successfully do, the fight is won, and it's a strong defense for them. Otherwise, there's a chance that Teddy just front to backs here, and then they actually lose the game regardless. Renata ultimate does go wide here. Teddy kites it out. They grab Keen. But I think this was a very high-risk, high-reward play for Damwon Kia, because this is the most high-value defense they could hope for. If they get a wipe there, maybe the game is theirs. So at the cost, of course, of a Nexus turret, but that probably won't be too important for quite some time here. We're only at the 30-minute mark in this game. There's no win condition for a strong split-pushing champion for Kwangdong Freaks to come over and just end this game. We're talking about Gragas and LeBlanc. So I think that it was a good call from Damwon Kia to let that Nexus turret go to try to hope for the full wipe.
Yeah, being able to win the teamfight definitely was important. We'll see whether any of these waves do actually sneak forward. As you can see, Kwangdong Freaks now just trying to deny Damwon Kia the ability to push this one out.
I mean, they're just grouping up as 5 here, and Damwon Kia will have to win another fight, or that does go down. They've escorted 2 super minions here to the base.
And with only 1 Nexus turret, these definitely kill it. And so therefore, Damwon Kia do have to stay in their base. And Kwangdong Freaks, you don't have to stand in the mid lane anymore, guys. You can, you have taken control of the entire map.
Yeah, it's a Sivir as well, so she is just going to delete these minion waves. Sakine here, looking for flanks. There is one coming through.
Yep, Nagari. Can he actually get into a position to threaten any of the carries? Is this inhibitor down relatively low? Mantrid Inspire is going to come in here as Nagari,
if they turn
still
on
working.
If they kill him.
Well, Dr. may just die first. Good handshake is going to come through though, as now Fate, he's too tappable by this this Camille if Nagari does find him. But
LeBlanc, not usually a champion you think about as the first one to pick in a fight, but he's just been targeted every single time. He's not tanky. He doesn't have any survivability. He does have his Zonias, but that's a death sentence if you use that while you're being chipped away by this insanely fed Draven as well as the Ahri. And if Nuggery had gotten picked there, you know, had died there, had been caught, then I think Damwon Kia just straight up lose the game, but they don't hard commit. They find a pick somewhere, a pick potential onto Fate, and that's just enough to push Kwangdong Freaks back. I think Kwangdong Freaks definitely could have pushed the issue harder there, and like you said, pushed the bottom lane with those siege minions, but they got greedy. They wanted the double inhibitor. They wanted further control of the base. Damwon Kia, once again, miraculous defense here, and the game keeps going.
It does. Minute and a half until that inhibitor does come back up again, and there's 49 seconds on the Baron. Have a feeling that Kwangdong Freaks just going to take some control here of the topside vision, and then move over and take the purple worm while they've got the sixth man in the minion wave, getting a lot of work done there towards that bottom side. Nuggery over there, trying to do his best to buy as much time for Damwon without these super minions being an issue.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of it. Doesn't have teleport, but if Kwangdong can actually force a fight, doesn't matter if he's there or not. As he's now going to come into the mid lane, got another flank angle. Kwangdong just, you know, spending a lot of time trying to get value around the map before that Baron spawns in 15 here. They have way better control over that part of the map right now and have a line of vision in mid. So they could just kind of kite back and start it up here. They have fantastic turn with this composition.
Yeah, Teddy also now able to get up close and personal with this turret, so that one is going to go down in a heartbeat. And now, with that Baron live, I mean, you could just go over there, Kwangdong Freaks, if you want.
Yeah, and the bottom wave isn't as threatening, but they want to set up a pick.
Yeah, well, Nuggery is going to have to try and hookshot his way out. Fate gets himself stunned. It was a bit of an unfortunate situation there as the stand aside is kind of decent. Nuggery's going to go down extraordinarily low as he gets bailed out. Looks to dive back in. Oh no, the communication not quite there for Damwon Kia. And now they're going to back themselves up because they don't have their Camille. It was almost beautiful, but in the end it did not work as Doctarm is going to get pillared at Draven's worst nightmare. And he is going to have to be forced to flash out.
No ults here for Damwon Kia. Defensively kicks down. No Renata ultimate. Kwangdong Freaks should just be able to push these waves in and end the game.
Yeah, Canyon just going to try and safeguard his way out. He breaks his stopwatch, so he's going to stay alive for the moment. And he's going to heal up just a little bit. This is Damwon Kia well and truly on the ropes. These minion waves, so difficult. And Kwangdong Freaks, they feel like they don't need a Baron. They are just going to try and push through and take down this last Nexus turret. Maybe they do need the Baron, though, as they are going to back away, look to grab this respawned inhibitor. Did come up a moment ago.
Nuggery is respawning in 5 here, and Kwangdong Freaks, again, not being very decisive with the end here. And it's a composition that has good turn with the Gragas. They have Pillar right, and they have Karma to speed up, and they have On the Hunt. But just running at Damwon Kia's defensive composition here, even with just 1 Nexus turret remaining, it's not something Kwangdong Freaks is willing to do. I think they probably should be, as this is a very nice stun here. Fate, unfortunately, flashed for that, but is going to be able to continue to damage. The bailout attempt here is nice, but this is just a one fight here as Keen is in the thick of things. Teddy is untouched. So this has just been the story of Teddy this game. He's just always at full health. He's always doing ricochet damage, and they haven't been able to win a decisive fight, but they are getting these consistent picks at the beginning of them. Still a chance here for Damwon Kia, though. If Kwangdong can't end this game, it's like, how many times are you going to give Damwon a chance to come back in this game? 2 inhibitors down now. Use your wave clear, just push it through and end it.
Yeah, well, the idea for Kwangdong Freaks is they just need Teddy to stay alive.
He has a GA.
Yeah, he has all of the tools in order to do that. He hasn't died so far this game. I think odds are things are going to be all right. But Kwangdong, they are going to move back. They're going to grab themselves this Baron now that it's guaranteed. It's all about dotting I's and crossing T's here for this lower range composition, as Damwon will just get themselves a Cloud Soul for their troubles.
Yeah, just going to be an attempted steal here from Duckdom as well, which was a little bit close for comfort, but will, of course, not secure the Baron. They will get Cloud Soul, but Cloud Soul defensively against this Baron not going to be too impactful. And because there's no real side laning angle for Nuguri this game, they can't cross-map. They just have to take a defensive fight here. And eventually, Kwangdong Freaks will wear away like water on rock Damwon Kia's base with now Baron buff, the extra siege they have with the siege minion, 2 super minion waves crashing through mid and bottom as well. You have to engage as Damwon. You have to find an angle. Otherwise, your Nexus just will eventually get worn down.
Yep, and these minions will get here. Damwon Kia certainly feeling the clock weighing them down, as that Nexus turret is also on its last legs. Showmaker can move on over. Kwangdong Freaks use this as their opportunity to break the last bastion of hope. There's Canyon diving on forward, manages to get the drive-by onto Teddy. He's down to his GA. They're trying to get him, but the rest of his team are hanging around. Teddy will be taken out. Damwon Kia, are they going to win this fight? Oh my god, they have 1 Nexus turret, Wolf! One Nexus turret in a dream!
1/4 the Nexus turret, really, Atlas, and that's going to be the wave deleted here. Now, Damwon Kia have a lot they're going to have to push through before they can end this game. There's a ping, there's 2 pings towards the base of Kwangdong Freaks here, but they get basically a full wipe, and it's LeBlanc that's left remaining, so there's no backdoor angle here whatsoever. But look at how clean this is from Canyon. Takes the taxi onto Hoyt here with the safeguard angle, so he cannot be stopped. He's got his own GA. It was so beautifully played. Then they get the GA out of Teddy, and there is just no way he's going to be able to survive or get out of here. Look at the damage. Look at the stopwatch. And Damwon Kia just waited and waited and waited. And you can see why Kwangdong Freaks were so timid about pushing to end here, because one mistake and one insane play from Canyon, watching his first-person view just makes it even crazier. His camera's not even centered as he pulls it off. And now Damwon Kia once again buy more time in this game. 70 seconds, 90 seconds on these inhibitors. And they got that Cloud Soul starting to feel a little bit more valuable now. Nuguri's got his GA. And suddenly this game feels winnable. Damwon Kia take a gold lead. And Kwangdong, man, have they really thrown this away, would be a crazy, crazy circumstance that this actually comes to be a Damwon Kia win, but feels more realistic the more of these waves get deleted.
Yeah, Damwon now know their win condition. They must kill the Fountain Laser at any opportunity that they can get. I don't know how many times Canyon can pull that particular play off, because he needed Hoyt's participation, but he's going to go for it once again. Teddy going to get kicked into the wall. This time the spell shield does come through. Takes a bit of damage there, but the hostile takeover will mean the end of Keen. And Duckdom locks down that kill first. Fate dashing forward. Damwon Kia now just feeling real good with this Cloud Soul that they have available. And okay, Fate not going to get hit by the charm. Teddy's still alive, so Damwon Kia still need to be very, very careful. If they overextend, they die to like a few ricochets.
Yeah, and also they don't have Baron or anything like that. They have a faster group up here. Nuguri has a nice flank angle. There's no bot wave, so they know he's hanging out over there.
This is insane. I mean, just pushing down the mid lane.
You have to do something. You can't just watch them take your base. And like, remember, Kwangdong, they just barely pushed, and what they did over basically 20 minutes of advantage, Damwon Kia just did in about 15 seconds.
Well, Whirling Death is going to look to save this inhibitor.
And it will buy a lot of time.
Decent job, yeah.
Duckdom's just going to back here. And with enough time here for the backs, they will be able to stop that. And there's 2 minutes and 20 seconds until Elder spawns.
This is nuts, Wolf. I mean,
this is Kwangdong Freaks in a nutshell, though, in terms of the indecisiveness the desk was talking about, the lack of commitment, and often a timid nature. After what happened with Canyon last time, I get it. You got to show respect. But when Canyon just walked in the mid and Kwangdong Freaks parted like the Red Sea, I'm like, well, I mean, you guys have good CC. You have a lot of damage. Yeah, he's got GA, but you have to respect. I mean, Damwon Kia don't have to respect Quantum Freaks if they do nothing, but otherwise, like, your comp still works. It still does a lot of damage. You've got a full build Sivir. You have to do something. You have to be ready to fight. Damwon Kia, I mean, this is just it feels like a robbery we're watching right now. Yeah,
the thing that's really, really scary, though, is that Damwon have Camille, Ahri, and a Draven.
Yeah, they can side lane.
It's triple threat. As Canyon gonna dive forward. Teddy is caught out once again. There's the 1,000 gold one more time to Noguri. And I don't believe it, Wolf. Damwon Kia are going to come back from that massive deficit. They just team fight their way out of the hole. It was by no means clean. However, a 2-0 is a 2-0 at the end of the day.
You mentioned the threats, the triple threats. Well, they all collapse and triangulate onto Teddy. He is deleted a second time. 2 kills on Teddy. All Damwon Kia need to end this game.
Oh my goodness. And sometimes you say that a team wins, and other times you say that a team loses. And I'm sorry, but I have a feeling that Kwangdong Freaks lost this game, Wolf.
I think
they
so
refused to win it, as Damwon Kia will destroy the Nexus. This is going to be a very interesting interview after this one.
Yeah, this will be an interesting interview, and I think for Kwangdong Freaks, one of the toughest losses